Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's your buddy Chewie here, back at you after, man, it's been more than a few days. I apologize. Life has been kind of crazy. Yeah, life's been nuts. Oh, we got a puppy. We got a brand new puppy the other day. She is a little dachshund. Our last guy, Ralph, it was about 3 years to the week since we lost him, and so it was time. So we have no name yet, but we certainly love her, and we will have a name here shortly. Goddamn, she's cute. She's like 3.5 pounds, and she loves to bite and play and hang out and cuddle, which is really needed in this world that we're living in these days. Let's see, COVID is what it is, right? It's here. The governor of the great state of Ohio the other day determined that the kids are not going back to school at all this year. I don't think that surprises anybody, or at least it shouldn't. That was kind of my assertion the whole time. At this point, I feel really bad for the seniors, right? The seniors that are not going to get to have a prom and have a real graduation and get to play their spring sports and hell, even take SATs and ACTs and get ready for college and graduation parties and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully we can still do graduation parties and stuff later in the summer once this is all behind us. So I know in our town last night we had they kind of put together a parade led by the police to allow the seniors of the district to drive around the district and drive around town and get some recognition, and it was about 100 cars, and it came through right through our development, and it was really pretty cool. So for the folks that organized that, I thought that was cool. And it was a small thing that they could do for the seniors of our school district. Let's see, back today, I need to finish up my WrestleMania review. I only did part 1, so again, I apologize. I haven't even done my update on the blog, which is kind of a bummer. So I will effort to do that as well. But this is just going to be some kind of quick thoughts here. First up was the NXT Women's Championship. It was Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Interesting way to start night 2. Again, this is all in a empty arena. I have mixed thoughts on this one. On one hand, the match was, I thought, really good. Just as an in-ring product, I thought it was a really good match. I think Rhea Ripley is a future star in the making. Obviously, she's already been the world champion of NXT. I can't for the life of me understand why they would put Charlotte in a program with Rhea. I don't know. Well, let me take that back. I don't understand why they would put Charlotte in a program with Rhea and then have her win. Charlotte Flair won. Spoiler alert. If you're going to put her in that program, why not have her lose? Why not have her put over Rhea and give her the rub and kind of propel Rhea Ripley to that stardom that I think she's on trajectory for. Obviously Charlotte doesn't. She's the queen, right? She's one of the best ever. She's going to already go down as a Hall of Famer. She's already won a gang of titles. I just don't understand where the value in her, quote unquote, going back to the NXT title is. So I suppose, we'll see how that unfolds over the next, weeks and months. Good match, though. Good match. Hard fought. Both women worked really hard. Next up was Alistair Black and Bobby Lashley. Alistair Black gets the win. No shock here. I really think that why they did this was to put an end, or at least to move the Bobby Lashley Lana story. Kind of in the towards the end of the match here. Lana tried to not get involved. I don't think, but she was kind of shouting instructions, and Bobby kind of turned toward her, and then Alistair hit Bobby with his finish. This kind of set the stage for them to break up or what have you. Again, it's been a couple weeks. It's been almost a month since WrestleMania, so a lot has happened since then. WWE has let a bunch of people go, including Rusev, which kind of surprised me. But again, he was kind of stuck in this program where he was, divorced from Lana and not on TV and just kind of a third wheel in this Bobby Lashley Lana story. So, I guess in retrospect, I guess it really doesn't surprise me. Again, the match itself was decent, and it was really just kind of more of a way for the storyline to move forward. Otis and Dolph Ziggler was up next. Otis is, I don't know how, he's one of my favorite performers these days. That's not to say that he's not a great physique. He's fit. But man, he is really enjoyable to watch. Ziggler, I think, continues to be underrated. I know there's a lot of kind of out of the ring stuff and issues with Ziggler, or at least that's my understanding. But Ziggler's a great performer, and he and Otis, I think they put a good match on. Mandy Rose runs out, and Otis gets the win. So I was happy to see that. Let's see. Next up was Edge and Randy Orton in a last man standing match. Holy shit, this was bad. Edge got the win, which didn't shock me at all. But, dude, it was boring. It was 36 minutes long. It was the second longest WrestleMania match in history, behind only the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels 60-minute Iron Man match. And it felt like 36 minutes. I mean, it was, I don't know if it, and it wasn't because the guys weren't working hard, because they were. I think it was probably due to the fact that it was an empty arena. But they went all over the Performance Center. They went into the back. They went into the locker rooms. They went into the board rooms. They went into the gym. There was one really, really weird spot where Randy Orton had Edge wrapped up over by up and around his neck in like the weight machine. And it was, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was very reminiscent to the way Chris Benoit and killed his son. And I do not know who greenlit that, but in theory somebody did, and that was just that was not a good look. Just boring match. Just went on way too long. Probably would have been okay if it was probably 10 or 12 minutes. The fact that it was 36 minutes, and it wasn't kind of shot together or cut together the way cinematically the way the Undertaker match was the night before. I think that probably would have been a little bit better. Just not a fan of the outcome, but just not a fan of the match at all. Just really, really, really bad. Let's see. Fifth match on the card was the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits, I got my little cheat sheet here, retained. I'm not a huge fan of tag wrestling, just in general. It was okay. It was a decent match. It was quick. A little something to quote unquote come down from the Edge Randy Orton match. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship, where you had Bayley, Lacey Evans, Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks in an elimination match. I thought for sure Sasha Banks was gonna turn on Bayley, and she didn't. She actually helped her win the match. So Bayley retains. Was a good match under the circumstances. Obviously they've been playing up the, we're best friends, Sasha and Bayley, for years now. It seems like that's kind of seems like that's what they always kind of come back to with these two, which on one hand can be compelling, but on the other hand, quite frankly, is kind of starting to get a little boring for me. Bayley retains there. Next up was the Firefly Funhouse match, quote unquote match, between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. This was the Sunday night version of the Undertaker AJ Styles match. It really wasn't even a match. I mean, it was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was a lot of clips. I think we were supposed to be in, like, I don't know if we were in John Cena's mind or if we were in Bray Wyatt's mind or what. It was a clip show. It was kind of like an acid trip going back through the years. There were some really cool visuals in there. Like they had, Bray Wyatt and John Cena behind the old school cage, and they were cutting a promo as if they were on Saturday Night's Main Event. They had John Cena in all of his different garbs throughout the years. They had Bray Wyatt in all of his different getups. You heard about Husky Harris. You had John Cena in an NWO shirt. It was just really weird. I guess Bray Wyatt won. For me, it was a miss. I just didn't get it. I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't really a wrestling match. At least the night before with Taker was a wrestling match. It was a fight, and this one really wasn't. I don't know. You'd have to. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know if this was really kind of universally loved. But for me, it was a huge miss. Just not a fan at all. Let's see what else. And then the last match of the night was Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. And in our kind of betting pool, it came down to this match. This was the last match on the card. I'll actually in a future episode I'll kind of go through kind of how that worked out. But Drew McIntyre is your Universal Champion, and I'm sorry, yeah, is that right? Universal or WWE? Whatever. He's the champion, and I'm a huge fan of McIntyre. I'm sick of Brock Lesnar, quite frankly. And so I'm glad to see the title come off him. I'm glad to see already since WrestleMania, McIntyre's been out there. He's been defending the title. He's been on TV. Whether or not WWE should be doing programming during COVID-19 is another discussion that we can get into. They were deemed essential by the state of Florida the other day, which, again, we can have that discussion another day. But yeah, I was thrilled to see McIntyre win, not only because I wanted to see that, but because I picked him and because it gave me the championship for the year. So, hey, that's all I got for right now. I'm actually on my way to pick up dinner here. We do buy one get one free wings at Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesday nights. So that's what's dinner for me tonight. So hey, I hope everybody is happy, healthy, and safe. And I will get back with you next time. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.